in a situation where you applied for a financial analyst role and you are given an assessment to undertake. This document captures the condition and requirements of this assessment, and you are to meet the objective specified before you are given the job. So how do you go about it? The first thing you need to do is to open the document that captures the requirement for the assessment. So this is the PDF file. If I double click on it to open up, you get to see the different requirements you need to undertake for you to do justice to this job. So take your time to read all through this. But if you come to realize one of the expectation is to create a detailed report, and this is what is expected of you. For example, sales performance analysis. So you are to present sales value and trend and further break it down by top product, by country, and then by best customer. Something similar applies to profitability metrics, cost analysis, revenue comparison, and cost comparison. Now, everything here captures creation of dashboard and highlighting key findings. Another part of the objective is to create a PowerPoint presentation where you highlight and summarize the key findings from the analysis you've executed. So these are the instructions you are to undertake, and then this is the timeline for execution of the assessment. Then finally, you can download your raw data by clicking on this link. So I'll click on the text here. It will give me a warning sign, then I'll click yes. So it will just automatically open this in Google Drive. So I will come to the top side here. I'll click on it, then I'll click on download, and this particular data set will be downloaded to my PC. Upon successful download, I will navigate to the download folder in my PC. Then I will right click on this folder and then click extract all. This is a default extractor that comes with your PC. However, you can use WinRAR and then extract the file. It's as simple as ABC. So I'll double click on the folder and then I'll get to see what files are inside. There is another zip file again. So I will just right click on it and then I'll extract it for the second time. And this is exactly what I have. Then I can access the data that I need to execute the job. I hope you understand. After this has been done, the next thing for you to do is to open each of these data to understand what is inside. Now, it's giving a warning that you should be sure of this very particular file before you open it. However, I will not give you something that will harm your PC. So just click on enable editing. Then I will just minimize from school full screen, and this is exactly what I have. You can see that we have an order date and stock date, order number, product key, customer key, territory key, order line, and then quantity. Let me activate the formula bar so you get to see exactly what it entails. Now, the first thing you need to do is to understand the data. That's what you need to do at this point in time. And understanding the data has to do with going through each individual column and know what it takes. Now, we are done with sales for 2017. If we go back to the same folder and then open the sales for 2016, we'll get to see that there are other variables that we need to evaluate also. Now, we have order date, we have stock date, number, and other columns similar to the previous file. Now, this is the sales record of 2016. Now, take note, there is a relationship between this and then the previous one as well. I will establish that relationship and you get to see how it works. Then I will navigate to the next file, which is sales for 2015. If I open it, you get to see that it's also similar to the different sales records that we have. But this is here the catch comes in. When I open that of territory, you get to see that the format of it is a little bit different. Now, this is it. We have sales territory key, we have region, we have country, and then we have what? Continent. Now, this sales territory key is the primary variable, is the primary key. If you understand relational database, you get to understand what I'm trying to say here. But don't worry, when we move further to the point where we begin to use Power Pivot to create this relationship, I will explain more and it will be very, very easy for you to understand. So if I go back to the same folder, this is where we are now. I'll double click on it for it to open up. And I have something that looks like this. If I click enable editing, we have return date, we have territory key. Now take note, we have what? Territory key. So this is a primary key that will help you connect to other files in this database. Like I said, I will explain more when we move forward. then we have product key, and then return quantity. So if I go to the next one, you get the gist. So this is how you get to open each individual document, understand what the document entails, understand the headings that are there. Just scroll through some of the lines just to get familiar with the data, because understanding of the data will help you fine tune the requirements that are given here, and you end up with a very good analysis. I hope you get. So like I said, open each individual file. So that is exactly what I will do. Now take your time to go through each of the column, but for now I'll just open each and every one of them and then show you a snippet of the relationship that existed, which I said earlier. But I will explain more when we move to the section for pivot table. Now this is exactly what we have. Then the last Excel file we have here is the one for calendar, which is this. Now let me explain the relationship. This is a column for date that captures a date for 2015 down to 2017, because that is where this data set ends as far as date is concerned. I hope you understand. If I hover on the Excel icon, you get to see that we have opened different Excel file that makes up this database. Now, starting with the first one we opened, which is the sales for 2017. Now, let me open the product table so that you get to see exactly the relationship that existed between them. So this is the product table. I will click on this to minimize, and then I will select something like this. So as you can see clearly, we have the sales, we have the product table here, and then we have sales for 2017. These are the two documents that we have. So what is the relationship that exists between them? Now, if you come to this side, there is something called product key. Product key is a unique identifier for the product table. I hope you understand, which means each product has a unique number that is used to identify it. Now, when you move to the sales table, you get to see that there is something called product key again. Now, for every entry in the sales table, it is part of the product key that existed in the product table. Okay, let me explain so that I will not confuse you. Now, when you come to the product table, there is a unique number that is given to each product. This number can begin from number 1, 2, 3 down to 20. It can begin from, you can randomly choose any number. It comes down to how this database was designed in the beginning. We have no issue with that. But what I know is that every individual product has a number assigned to it. This is something similar to registration number when you were in the university, because every student has a unique registration number. I hope you understand. That number is what is used to identify you, so that there will be uniqueness in identification. Now, for example, if you come here, this is 214. This is the product support. This is the product, what's it called? The product SKU. Then this is the product name, and it's called Sport 100 Helmet Red. Then this is the model name. This is the product description. This is the product color, product size, and many other options that are available. Product cost, and then product price. Now, when it comes to the cost of the product and its price, these are variables we will use in the future to connect the sales between the product and then the sales table. You get to see how this relationship I created as we move forward. But now understand that the relationship between the product table and the sales table is this product key that exists here and that also exists here. It's as simple as that. Now, if I close the sales table here and then I click don't save, then I open, I activated the sales for 2016, which is this. Then I just place it somewhere around here. Now you can see this is the product table that we opened earlier. When it comes to the sales for 2016, this is the product key. So this very particular column and this very particular column has a relationship between them, because you found 214 here. If you scroll through the entries that are available here, you might come across 214. And if you didn't come across 214, then definitely something that exists here might probably be found here. That is why we say there's a relationship between the product key here and then the product key in the product table. I hope you understand the relationship that is existing between these two. All right. Now, apart from product key, there is a different column that's called customer key. So the customer key now will create a relationship between the sales table for 2016 with the customer table. Now let me close the product table and then open customer table. I will close this one as well, but for now, let me open the customer table, which is this. Then I will just pin it by the side. So this is how it works. Let me close this. I don't need it. So I'll move this one to the side here so that we'll have them side by side. Something that looks like this. Fine. Now, this is product for 2016. Sorry, this is the sales record for 2016. And then this is the customer table. Now, if you look carefully here, you realize that this is customer key column. And then when you come here now, this is customer key column. That means the relationship between the customer table and then the sales for 2016 is this customer key. So this column has a relationship with this column. That simply means a particular customer, which is identified as 11,000 in number, might purchase something in 2016. So in this customer key, 11,000 will appear. That is the relationship between the sales and the customer table. I hope you understand. So I will close these two again, then I will go back to the next set of tables and establish more relationship. Now, this is for sales territory. If you open the sales for 2015, let's compare these two together. You get to see that we have a column called sales territory, and then let's scroll to the top here and evaluate some of the columns we have here. Now we have something called territory key. Now here it is called sales territory key. Why in the sales table it is called what? Territory key. Don't confuse yourself. This is the same key that we are talking about here. I hope you understand. It doesn't matter what the name of the column is. In some instances, or let me say in most instances, the name of the column will be the same. But however, even though the name of the column are not the same, as long as the variable, the content inside the column are the same, then there is a relationship between them. So one is identified as Northwest, which is located in America. Then number 10 is identified as United Kingdom, which is located in what? In Europe. So that simply means for every sale transaction that happen, whenever you see 10, just know that it's executed in the euro. So this 10 now that appears here has created a relationship between this table and this table. That shows that this entry was made, this sales was made in the United Kingdom. So this is the relationship between the sales record for 2015 and that of the territory table. I hope you understand. So the same relationship exists for every single table that we have in this data set. All these things that you see here, there is one or two columns that connect all of them together. And this is exactly what we refer to as a relational database. It's very important for you to understand this before you move forward. I hope you get the message, because everything you do here is directly related to results that you will get at the end of the day. So now that you have understand this, let's move to the next section. Okay, looking at the first requirement here, which says sales performance analysis. If you want to analyze sales, then definitely you should be talking about the different year, talking about the different month, or talking about any criteria that is given to you. So at this point in time, if you are to calculate the total sales, you have to combine the sales for 2015, 2016, and 2017. And since that is the case, for you to move forward, then you definitely need to create a document that captures sales for 2015, sales for 2016, and then sales for what? 2017. What I'm trying to say here is that we have different files that capture sales for different year. So it will be wise and rational for you as a financial analyst to match all these sales records together in a single Excel file, because it will be easy for you to work with. I hope you understand. So to go about that, I will just open Excel on my PC, and then when it's open, I will create a new document. The simple way for you to match these files together is basically to open each and every one of them, then copy the data. Now, there is a different way to actually do that, but I don't want to bore you with too much detail. But however, if you want to explore, then I would say one of the things you can actually do is to go to the data tab and then you click get data from file, then you use Excel workbook. Then you import, you navigate to where those files are located. Make sure you create a folder for them. I hope you understand. Navigate to where the folder is and then click on the file, then import. It will just automatically bring all the three files together. Then you convert them from table to range, get rid of any other outlier, and then you have your data well ready and packaged. I hope you understand. That's a process. If you want to undertake that lane, there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe this is more simpler. So you just open this file, for example, then you select the first cell here. You press and hold Control and Shift, then the right arrow and then the down arrow. You've selected every data. Then you right click and click copy. Then you move to the new Excel file you've created and then press Ctrl V. That's it. You've pasted it. So I will select this cell and then I press Ctrl and down arrow so that it will take me to the last cell. I will place my cursor here. Then I will close this table that I opened earlier for 2015. Now I will do the same thing for 2016 by opening it up again, which is this. After it has been opened, I will repeat the same thing by selecting this cell, press and hold Ctrl and Shift, then the right arrow, then the down arrow again, so that I will now select the entire data. I'll move to my Excel workbook, then I will come here. But if you observe carefully, I selected with the heading, which is not really the case. But however, let me paste so that I will show you what I'm trying to talk about. So if I come here now, I will just click paste. Now remember, this is cell 2632. So if I just click paste, for example, you see that it comes with the heading as well. So I can select the heading, right click, and then click delete. The heading is gone. Now, when I go to the next year, which is 2017, what I can possibly do is to open this document up. Now, instead of me to copy with the heading, rather I will start from the second row. So I will press Ctrl and Shift, the right arrow to select to the right, down arrow to select downwards. Then I will copy the file from here. I'll move to my Excel workbook, make sure I position it in this cell. Then I will just click paste and you can see that it has pasted it. So all my sales data have now been presented in a single Excel file, which is called book 1. So I'll just click on save, navigate to where these files are being saved. For example, I will just click on more options, click on open, then I will navigate to the folder where these files are located, which is here. So I will just say sales Gear Force is the name of the company. Then I'll say sales. Instead of 2017, I'll just call this general. So this will be a file for general sales. I hope you understand. So anything I'm working with, I will know how to go about dealing with it. So after matching all the sales records together, let me go back to my PDF assessment. In sales analysis, it says you are to present the sales value. Okay. Then after that, you also present a trend, okay? That's more like a line graph. Then further break down sales by top 5 product, by country, and then by best product. So the question is, how do you calculate sales? Now, for you to go ahead with this, you need knowledge of finance. And sales record is nothing but revenue record. When we say sales, we are referring to revenue. Then how do you get to calculate revenue? If you go back to the sales record that we have here, let me close this individual sales record because we've already copied the data in them so that I can have only the general sales record. Now, when we talk about calculating revenue, as a financed person, you come to understand that the formula for revenue is nothing but product times quantity. I hope you understand. That's how you calculate revenue, otherwise called the total revenue. So in the sales record, we have the individual quantity of the product. But when you look at this, what do you call it? When you look at this section, you come to see that there is nothing like price here. I hope you understand. All the columns here, nothing like price, but we have quantity. But for us to calculate the total revenue, which is the same as the revenue, that's also the same as sales, then we need to multiply each quantity by its price, meaning the quantity for this product is 3. Then we need to look for the price for this product and then bring it together, multiply with the quantity so as to get the revenue. This is where the technicality has now begun from. I hope you understand. So what we need to do now is to open the product table so that we can now connect this key to the product table. Don't worry, I will do that and you get to see how simple it is to execute. So if I come back here now, let me see where is the product table. This is my product table. So if I double click on it for it to open up, you get to see that there is a column that is called product key, which is this. And the same column exists here, which is this, which means there is a relationship between them. So this is what I will do. I will just split my screen here. In case if your computer doesn't have a split screen, fine. There's nothing, you can actually do it the other way. But for now, let me just do it this way. Then I'll come back and do it in case if your computer doesn't have a split screen. So this is the point. We have a product key that is called 332, which is located in the product table. But we want to extract the price, which is this one here. So we'll also do the same thing for the cost, but for now, we want to extract the price. So this is what you need to do. At the top side here, you create a column called product price, which is this. Or to make it seamless, I will just come back here, then I will just copy exactly what is here, then I'll come back here and then paste it here. I hope you understand. So this is exactly what I have. Now, the next thing I will do is to copy that of product cost. Then I'll come back and then paste it here. I hope you get the message. So this is exactly what I have. Now, the next thing I will need to do is to link these two tables together. And how do I do that? I will come back here. I will click the equal sign. Then I will introduce the VLOOKUP function. So this VLOOKUP now is asking me for a lookup value. So I will select this, then I will click comma on my keyboard. Now it's asking for a table array. So that means this value, where is it located? Which table? It is located in a different table called gear force. So I will just come back to this place and then I will click the first cell that I have here. This one here. You can see that it has started selecting it in the formula bar. So I will just press Ctrl and Shift, then the right arrow so that it can select all the columns. Then I'll press downward so that it can select all the entire product entries. I hope you understand. The next thing I will do after that has been done is to now continue entering the formula. So I will just maybe drag this one down a little bit because of space so that I'll have something that looks like this. So I will now hit comma on my keyboard. Then the next parameter is my column index number. Column index number is nothing but the column you want to return. And since I want to return the product price, I will start calculating from the first column by saying, okay, this is column 1, this is column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. You understand? Column 6, column 7, column 8, column 9. Then the product price, which is this one, is column 10. So this is column 10 and then column 11 because there are a total of 11 columns here. And the last one, which product price, is column 11. So I will just type 11 here, hit comma on my keyboard, then double click on exact match and the formula has been concluded. Then I close my parentheses. You need to know how to use the VLOOKUP function before you can actually do this. But this is exactly what it is. So you can see that I have my formula intact. Then I will just hit enter on my keyboard. Okay, it shows not available, which is not the case. All right, so this is it. Now, that is the beauty of doing these things in real time so that you get to see how mistakes are made and then how you get to correct your mistake. Now, if you look carefully at this now, I started from cell C1. And the reason is because I minimized my screen by splitting it up so that I can actually show you how it works side by side. And as a result of this, I made a mistake by starting from C1. While instead, I'm supposed to begin from what? A1. So I'll change this to A, then I'll change this to 1, and then I'll hit enter. You can see it has returned the price. But now, let's do this again so that you get to understand. Now, instead, I will just right click on this. I will just clear it. Now, I'll just maximize and work with full screen this time around so that you get to see in order to avoid mistakes. Now, while working with your real data, at some point in time, you might make a mistake. But as long as you know what you are doing, when a mistake occurs, you can easily detect and then find a way towards it. I hope you understand. When a mistake occurs, you detect, you find a way around it. So this is exactly what we need to do. So remember, we are dealing with product price. So I will just right click, introduce the VLOOKUP function. So I will now select my product key because that is my unique identifier. I will select product key, hit comma. Then for the table array now, I will just hover on the product table and this is it. I have everything well visible. So I will select from A1, then I'll press Ctrl and Shift, the right arrow key, and then the down arrow key. So everything has been selected. The selection is from A1 down to K294. After the selection has been made, I will hit comma on my keyboard. My column index is the column I want to return. So if you know how VLOOKUP works, you'll definitely be aware of this. So I will count my columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will now type 11 because I want to return this column. I'll hit comma on my keyboard and I will select exact match so that I'll now close my parentheses and that's it, I'm done. Now, if you observe carefully, when I was counting, there is a small description that actually covered. So you can actually do the counting when the description is not there. So we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is how we got this 11 here. Now, since I'm done with this, I will just hit enter on my keyboard. You can see it will just automatically move me to my sales data here and just execute what I did. I hope you understand. So that is how I got to the price here. Now, if you want to verify to be sure that the price for this product is actually this value, what you need to do now is to select this cell and then copy this 332. Then go back to your product table, then press Ctrl F to bring the find and replace dialog box. Then press this 332 here and then click find. Now it will find it within the product key, and when it locates the value, you just select the entire row and then you check what is the price. The price is 699.0892. Then you confirm, is this the same thing that you have here? If true it's the same, then your calculation is correct. Now, after I have done for this one, in order for me to do for the remaining products that we have here, what I need to do is to move to this edge here, double click on it, and it will just run it through down to the end. Now, let's confirm again to make sure that we actually do the right thing. The product we have here is called 538. So I will just copy 538 from here. Then I will just move to my, this is where I'm supposed to find 538. So this is it. Under 538, we have 21.49. So let's do it for another one and see. So let me see, let me just scroll and select a random number. So let's say 214, for instance. 214, this very particular one. So I will just copy the key from here and then I will go back to the product table. Then I will search for 214. If I select this, 214 happens to be the first. So the price is 34.99. If I move to the table here, 214, which is this, the price is what, 34.99, and we have 34.99 here. That means our data is correct. I hope you understand. So we've now succeeded in getting that of the product price. Now the next thing we need to do is to get out of the product cost as well. And then to get that, we also need to use the product table. So this is exactly what I will do. I will just copy this formula from here. Then I will just paste it here. It shows not available. So I will just come back. Remember that we are dealing with the product key and the product key is located in this cell. So I will just select these two and then I will remove it. Then I will select the same product key. You can see now we have this as D2. Now, in the previous, in the what do you call it? In the formula for the product, remember that we calculated 11 as price and one column before it, which is column 10, is that of cost. So I'll change this 11 to 10 and every other thing will remain the same. I will just hit enter and this is the cost that I will be working with. So if I go back to the product price, you get to see that if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is column 10 and this is the price for it, 13.08 63. And then we have the same thing for this, which is 2, 1. Okay, I've already moved along that very particular 2, 1 something something. So let's verify now. I'll copy this from here, which is 332. Then I'll go to my product table. I will Control F, Control V to paste. Then I will select. After I find it, this is it, 332. You can see that the price for it is 669.0832, which is exactly what we have as price. Okay, this is the product, which is exactly what we have as price here, 6690982. Then for the cost, which is one cell before it, 413.161463, is the same thing we have here, 413.1463. So the reason why I'm doing all this is for you to understand. While you are watching this video, you get to understand all the in and out, the nooks and crannies of the thing so that it will be easy for you to understand. If initially you are working this on your own, not really pass through all this detail, but because I'm doing it for you to get the gist, that's why I'm very detailed. I'm verifying all this information. So since I have done for the first one and I verify that it is correct, I will just double click on it and Excel will automatically run the formula downwards and give me something up to the end. And this is exactly what I have. Take your time to verify anything you want to verify here. We are good to go. Then finally, I will select this. If you look carefully, you realize that this is a formula. This is also a formula. This is also a formula. Now, if I am working with a data that has hundreds of thousands of records, I can allow this to go. You get, or I can probably do this in Power Pivot. But because I'm working with a simple data and I want to simplify everything, then I will just select these two columns together like this by pressing Ctrl Shift right arrow and then press the down arrow key. Then I'll copy it from here. I will not move anywhere else. I will right click again, then I will click paste values. Now this is exactly what happened. If you observe now, you see that there is no longer any formula. Rather, we now have only values. And that is exactly what I want. I want it to have only the values. Now, I will just click on save in order to save my progress. Then I can close this value. Then this is my product table. I'll also close this one. I don't need to save here because no product has been added. So this is exactly what we have. Now, you come to realize that we have prepared our files and then we've calculated some values based on the relationship that existed. Now, the next thing we need to do is to create a model. So let's move to the next lesson. I'm sorry, but I have to stop here for now. However, if you want to push further and undertake the full lesson, check one of the links in the description. It will navigate you to my course dashboard. Just pay a commitment fee and access will be granted to you to complete the whole project. I will see you on the other side.